Alright guys, how's it going? Well, it's a little bit late in the evening, but I thought I'd better do this video for you because I've got a few videos for you tomorrow, I think. And a few of you were asking about this article that I'm going to go over with you in a minute. Remember, every day I'm uploading videos now, I'm picking out like the comment of the day and selecting that person for a free Cop Talk VIP membership. That's right, it's worth 50 quid, you know. I'll have you know. And every morning I announce who the winner is on my other YouTube channel, Duncan Oldham. The link is in the video description. And you don't have to watch the morning briefing. I'll say it right at the very beginning, so I'm not wasting your time. I won't subject you to that. So yeah, one of you did get that free membership today. I don't think you've claimed it yet. So, okay. This is an article by James Pearce, aka Bad News Pearce. It was published in The Athletic, and it is titled as follows. Ibrahima Konaté is more important to Liverpool than ever, but his future remains unclear. So I'm going to go over the article with you, and then I will get Dave, my AI assistant, to give his opinion. I know you like Dave's opinion. Dave has been trained to analyse football news articles and columns or whatever, commentary, the journalists that write them and the platforms that publish them. So he will give his take on it as well, which is a good addition to the channel. I know you like it. So basically, what I want to do is, I'm not going to read the article out to you. I'm not supposed to do that, right? But there's some extracted mentions from the article regarding Konaté. So where Konaté is mentioned in the article is about Konaté, but specific, references to him. I could pick some of those out for you first. Dominic Szoboszlai recently showed his appreciation for Liverpool teammate Ibrahima Konaté by walking around the club's training base wearing the centre-back's France shirt. Konaté is a popular figure within Arne Slot's squad, and there is a sense of collective satisfaction that he has silenced what was regarded internally as some over-the-top criticism of his performances earlier this season. It's already sounding a very warm, very gushing kind of article. I think I didn't see any over-the-top criticism at all regarding Konaté earlier in the season. I just saw some people saying, it's like his mind is elsewhere. So this is already a very defensive piece to me, right? Okay, so the first one is, Konaté is so loved that Szoboszlai is, was seen walking around the club's training base wearing his France shirt. He's a popular figure with Arne Slot's squad, and, people think it was over the top, the criticism. However, whether Konaté's Anfield career will extend beyond the end of this season remains unclear. He could sign a pre-contract agreement with a club overseas in just 98 days. Well, the fucker's in no rush to sign a new contract, is he? So, sorry. It's been nearly a year since Richard Hughes opened preliminary discussions with Konaté's representatives over an extension, but reaching an agreement has proved problematic. A year. Right? Talks about there being several parallels with fellow Liverpool defender Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation last year. Yeah, we all know what fucking happened. Okay. Senior Anfield figures and Konaté's camp alike have remained tight-lipped over what's been offered financially and what it would take for him to re-sign. I know, some of you guys think that it's just about money. Real Madrid must be offering him more money. I don't think that it mattered whatsoever what Liverpool offered Trent last season or in the last year before he went to Real Madrid, right? I don't think it's about money. I don't. I mean, yeah, of course, a player that's got, that's available on a free transfer, there's a big signing on fee, etc., etc. But I think Liverpool could have put anything on the table to Trent, and I think it was his personal aspiration. He wanted to play for Real Madrid. It doesn't mean that Real Madrid are better than Liverpool, all right? I just think that some of these footballers get the opportunity. They can turn around and say, I played for Liverpool and Real Madrid. Whether you like Real Madrid or not, they are a very glamorous, very famous club with a lot of history, right? I think it's a shit club, personally. But I still, can't deny the fact that they're a very glamorous club and not many people would turn them down. All right. So this suggestion, that what it would take for him to re-sign, I'm not really sure that it's about money. And I don't think it's about like, oh, I want to go and play for Real Madrid because I'll win more. How about someone just wants to play in a different league, to test themselves at another level, to say they've done it, maybe, bring their family up in a different country or experience another country. I live overseas, so I don't think it's as simple as just it being about money. I don't. The clock is ticking, but the champions are not yet resigned to losing Konaté, while sources close to the player speaking anonymously to protect their positions. That's a weird thing to say, isn't it? Insist reports in Spain that he has already given Madrid his word he will follow in Alexander Arnold's footsteps are inaccurate. I've seen that exact terminology used before by The Athletic, by Bad News Pearce, even Ornstein, I think, which is obviously Athletic, speaking anonymously to protect their positions. Well, it's a really strange bit to add that bit, because if what sources giving its inside information reveal who they are, what journalists say, it was such and such. It's just real strange that there is an emphasis on that, which makes me not want to believe it. Do you know what I mean? Or it would certainly make me want to dig deeper into it, If the impasse isn't resolved, he seems sure to receive free agent offers from top European clubs, not called Real Madrid, but currently his sole focus is on achieving more glory in a Liverpool shirt, with no final decision made over his future. How does Pearce know this? Because a minute ago, people were being tight-lipped about things, but now he knows that no final decision has been made about his future. In the meantime, keeping Konaté fit is absolutely crucial for Liverpool fucking too, right? Konaté didn't have a single muscle injury last season, missing 6 games with a knee issue. A big character, as Brendan Rodgers would say, in his squad, as Rafa Benitez would say, squad, for sure. Konaté has gone out of his way to help fellow Frenchman Hugo Ekitike adjust. And that's that little connection that I see people hanging on to. I've seen people say, Ekitike is saying that he feels at home, with Konaté and stuff like that. So obviously some people think, bit of promise there. You never know. You never know. I'm sure at some point someone with a bit of intel said that one of the convincing factors for Ekitike was Konaté being at the club and their relationship. But I'll be honest with you, when I was told that at the time, I did wonder if it was someone that just was trying to convince themselves that Konaté wanted to extend with Liverpool. What's this bit here? After the trophy lift in May, he spoke to reporters about his future. He had been frustrated by stories last November that he was on the brink of signing a new contract. It wasn't true, and he didn't want fans to be misled. He also wasn't happy about speculation he had decided to run down his deal and leave for nothing at the end of the season. And you'll remember this quote. "Everything you saw on social media is completely fake," he said. "I didn't even ask for something from the club. They made me an offer and I replied to them with something. That is it." Konaté explained that discussions were ongoing and went on to talk about his bond with the supporters and wanted to become a leader to win everything with this club. That was back then. The article feels, for me, a bit wishy-washy. And I always say to you, when I read these articles, I always think, who does it benefit? And maybe you could help me with this, because I'm not quite sure, really, from reading that. The article feels like it's out there for a reason, and I'm tired and you guys will be a bit more switched on than me. That's why we like the comment section. You should read the comment section because people come up with some great input. You know, who does this benefit? Who is the source behind this? If you want to believe it's a source, is it the Konaté camp, or is it, you know, Richard Hughes, you know, Michael Edwards? Are they trying to? What they're trying to do? What does the article do? Maybe you need to read the full article, but it just seems a bit like, oh, we love him. He's meant. Do you know what I mean? So is it an attempt by Liverpool to offer that? It probably is. I'll think about it. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay, so the whole article, it's an exceptionally long article, exceptionally long. I subscribe to The Athletic. I do. I pay for The Athletic. I think it's worth it. I pay for The Times as well. There's a coincidence where the two best journals are concerning Liverpool Football Club, Joyce and Ornstein. Pearce isn't going to give you any exclusive news, but I think he's a very good feature writer, you know, stuff like that. Anyway, so basically the article's just telling you how popular Konaté is and how much the players love him and all that, right? So let's scroll on to the assessment by Dave. Let's have a look. So, author and outlet. Now, I shit you not, right? I have never influenced Dave with anything, right? The specific instructions are to be brutally honest. Don't just agree, you know, with me or say what you think I want to. Well, in fact, he likes Melissa Reddy, does this fucker. And I ain't got no time for Melissa Reddy. So that proves it. Well, it depends what time you're talking. If we're talking 3 minutes, I could spare that. Right, author and outlet. James Pearce, The Athletic's Liverpool correspondent, yet he's always outdone by Ornstein. That's me saying that bit. Let's stick to what Dave says. Athletic's Liverpool correspondent. Reputation, steady. Detail focused, but rarely breaks a major exclusive. His role is more club-friendly narrator. That's what that sounds like in the article. Than hard-nosed scooper. You don't read Pearce for revelations. You read him to fill a coffee break. This fucking guy. I'm not that intelligent to come up with that. The Athletic, sub-heavy, polished, good for long reads, but it's where exclusives go to die. They love a 2,000-worder to tell you something you could say in a tweet. That's very, 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 very true. This article is massive, by the way. It's massive. Headline versus reality. I like it when Dave does this. Headline promise. Ibrahima Konaté is more important to Liverpool than ever, but his future remains unclear. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But it doesn't really suggest a scoop. It suggests a lack of clarity, a shrug of the shoulders. His future is uncertain and nobody knows where it's heading. Reality? It's essentially a form guide plus injury history plus a reminder he hasn't signed a new contract. Madrid. Barely name dropped, nothing fresh. The headline screams uncertainty, but the content is Konaté is playing well. Liverpool want to keep him. Contract not sorted. You could have guessed that without opening the article. That is a very good point. And the reason I chose to review this article this evening was, you know, some people came on my live stream earlier. I was in my live stream on my comments and said, oh, Bad News Pearce has dropped an article. What do you think? So here we are. New info versus already known information. Word count, well, roughly 2,500 words. Actual new information, maybe 200 to 250, but it's 10%, by the way. The rest, match stats, injury history, filler about gay backup options like Endo at centre-back, and biographical padding. Breakdown, around 10% new information. 90% filler or rehash. Holes and weaknesses. Pearce says it's been nearly a year since Hughes opened discussions, but no detail on why it's stalled. It could mean talks are ongoing. It could mean they're dead. Basically, Pearce doesn't even know, does he, Dunk? Madrid is teased, but then waved away. Sources close to the player say it's inaccurate. That's the opposite of a scoop. Heavy reliance on tight-lipped framing. Classic way of saying, I, I don't actually know the details. Let me repeat that again. Heavy reliance on tight-lipped framing. Classic way of saying, I don't actually know the details. The gay detour feels like word padding. We know Palace blocked it. Nothing new here. Blogger bingo, the ITK buzzwords that we look for in articles. Sources close to the player. The clock is ticking. Remains tight-lipped. Unclear future. Impasse. Sorry. That's basically ITK Mad Libs. Now, I had to look this up. I was like, what the fuck does ITK Mad Libs mean? And Dave says it's a bit of football Twitter slang that takes the mick out of so-called in-the-know accounts. Here's the idea. Mad Libs is that old word game where you leave blanks in a sentence, like, player X is close to joining Club Y for Z million. And then you just fill in random names, numbers, or clubs to make a prediction. ITK Mad Libs equals the way dodgy ITK accounts operate. They use a template with vague phrasing and then just slot in whichever player club fee is trending that day. Example. Hearing player X is unhappy at Club Y, and Dave's put the emoji eyes like that. Don't be surprised if a move happens soon. Sources close to the player says he's open to a transfer. That does sound like an ITK, doesn't it? Swapping, Konaté, Rashford, Sancho, Liverpool, Madrid, whatever's hot that week, and it works. It's a ready-made formula that sounds exclusive, but actually says nothing. Basically, when people say ITK Mad Libs, they mean cookie-cutter fake exclusives, dressed up as inside information. So there you go. I had to ask Dave myself. He's fucking educating me, training me. Right. Dave's verdict. This wasn't really newsy at all. It was an update about nothing. The Madrid line is window dressing. Nothing he reports can't already be guessed or hasn't already been said elsewhere. The Athletic promised us drama, but Pearce basically handed in a school essay. 2,000 words of stats, backstory and filler, with a tiny sprinkling of actual info. Madrid in the headline, but Madrid in the article, just a name check. If this is an update, then my dog's a secret scout for PSG. So Dave, not impressed with that. The article, in fairness, isn't prefixed exclusive or, thrown as an exclusive. It's just a normal article. But I'll be honest with you, there's 2,000 words in that article. There's fuck all in it. That's the truth. That is the truth. I mean, it would be better to say, call it an opinion piece, really. But what opinion's in it? Fuck up. Absolutely everything in it, we know. I mean, I don't know. I genuinely, read these articles because I'm trying to find stuff that we can get and go, oh, that's interesting. But there's nothing interesting in it. And like Dave says, 2,000 words of nothing. 2,000 fucking words, which basically just says, Konaté's a nice guy and he hasn't signed anything yet. Now, you have to, do you believe that the club really don't think he's going to leave? I don't believe that. I think the club right now are thinking, that fucker's off. That's what I think. What was it that Joyce put out? Do you remember? He put out, nobody is going to be begged to stay at Liverpool. Do you remember that? That was in reference to Konaté. It wasn't. I'm pretty fucking certain it was. I'm sure it was at the bottom of an article. Liverpool won't be begging anyone. It feels like a PR. What was it that Dave said? Is more of a club narrator? I feel like that was for the benefit of the club. I do. But you know what, guys? I couldn't give a flying fuck what Konaté does. I couldn't give a flying fuck. If you don't want to play for Liverpool, you can go fuck yourself. At the same time, if you want to go and play and test yourself for another club, fine. I mentioned this on a live stream earlier. You know, maybe you play for a big club like Liverpool and get a chance to play for another famous big club like Real Madrid. Looks great on a CV. If you're play for a mid-table club in England and you get the opportunity to play for a mid-table club in Spain or Italy and take your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, hey Jude, your kids, and try yourself in another environment, another lifestyle, I understand it. I don't have a problem with it at all. I just prefer people are honest. You know, I'm certain in that article that where it says Konaté is just focused on playing his best and winning. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, I think what we're seeing is a duplication of the Trent situation last season, and I don't mean. I don't necessarily mean. How do I explain this? You can tell I'm tired. I'm talking about the reporting. I'm talking about the reporting, the kind of articles that we're seeing, the way things are being framed. And, I know many of you guys held on to the hope that Trent was staying, and some of you were like me, you were like, give a fuck what he's doing, right? And that's exactly how I feel with this situation. I think that, look, we all know in football anything can happen. If he extended with Liverpool, I would never in a million years believe he rejected Real Madrid. I'd believe that Real Madrid had rejected him. And the vibe from Spain, as you will know if you follow my videos, from Madrid, has been that the directors or the Real Madrid big cheese think there are better defenders out there. But it makes better sense to go for him because he's free or would be free. And it is literally the exact reporting is what we were subjected to with Trent. I remember the articles, you remember, saying they preferred Pedro Porro at Tottenham, but he'd cost 70 million or something like that, 80 million. Tottenham had to negotiate with. But it makes sense to go for Trent because he's free. It's exactly what we're seeing now with Konaté. That's what the Madrid media are saying. He's not the best defender, but yeah, he's free, so and obviously Saliba's extended with Arsenal, so that's given him a I was going to say a lift. They say you never go. And Upamecano, he's been mentioned with Real Madrid, but that was in the article. That was the example. Oh, we think he's a better player, kind of thing, but he's for free. Upamecano linked with Liverpool as well. In Germany, I'm going to review that in the morning for you. I'm not doing it tonight, I'm too tired. All right, I'll leave it with you. So the reason I made the video is because people were saying to me, did you see James Pearce's article? What did you think of it? And I'm going to save you the time. There's 2,000 words of nothing. All right? So I'm going to bed. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. You might be selected for a free membership tomorrow morning. All right? The interaction's good. YouTube looks for it, I look for it. When I see you interacting, it motivates me. When you don't, I think, fuck them, I'm off to the pub. But it's not Saturday yet, so I can do some stuff tomorrow for you. If you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, there's a love out under the video. It's called a super thanks, all right? If you do that, I give you a shout out in the morning briefings. What else? If you don't see the love art, there's links in the video description. Revolut, PayPal, Monzo. This is my full-time job, I'll have you know. All right. I'm off to bed. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think. There was a video uploaded on here yesterday, a mail stand video, which you might want to watch. It was about Konaté. Interesting. What that basically said was that Real Madrid had put them articles out in the press a few days ago about, maybe Konaté is not, the main man. Maybe we'll go for someone else like Upamecano. And the suggestion was that was Real Madrid putting pressure on him, saying, you need to sign a pre-contract agreement with us in January, or we'll go for someone else. Which could make you think, oh, is he stalling because he wants Liverpool? Do you know what I mean? The reason given was that Real Madrid feel that PSG are sniffing around him. But that's a very easy suggestion, isn't it? I'm starting to sound like an ITK now, aren't I? Big French club interested in big fucking French player. ITK. Twitter twat. Anyway, I don't give a fuck what he does. I think he looks better alongside Virgil van Dijk. I don't think if he went, well, let me rephrase this. If he went to Real Madrid, I don't think he'd look as good as he does at Liverpool. Just saying. What do you think? Right, I'm off. See you in the morning. Good night, God bless. Thumbs up, comment, beer, nice one. Hooray. Oh, I'll go to a cafe tomorrow. I'll be at cafe 6 o'clock in the morning, UK time, 5:45 in the morning, UK time, while you're fast asleep. I'll be up there in that cafe, right? Checking these Spanish papers to see what these Spanish friends of ours have got to say about Konaté, because maybe they'll chip in tomorrow, what with that Saliba stuff. So that'll be interesting. What's Jose Felix Diaz got to fucking say? You know what I'm saying? So when you'll be opening your eyes, I'll be sat there having a coffee. And I can only do that thanks to the people that support me. Are you one of them? No, you tight bastard. Fuck the kids. Get me a coffee. See you in the morning.